Hey, it's Ken Sheets with Buzz Pros and Dream Shield, and I'm here with an amazing collector here and the model of the Pyramid of the Sun and the Pyramid of the Moon here, Stephen Collector. Hey, Stephen.
Hi, Ken.
Wow, we got reverb.
Yeah, it should sound as ethereal as I would hope it would feel.
Yeah. Well, tell me, you've been coming here for a lot of years. This is my first trip to Teotihuacan, and thank you so much for turning me on to this amazing museum. And what we're looking at here is, I guess it was a 20-mile diameter of the original pyramid, and then seeing the tops of the original pyramids and so forth. What first got you to Teo?
What first got me to Teo was actually a deep emotional blow that threw me into terror.
Oh.
And I had a choice to either blow up my family or see what was no longer serving me in my life. And that led me on a search for a teacher or a therapist or a rolfer or whatever you think it is that can help you to see what's in your way. And I was very lucky to find a teacher, a shaman, who had been trained by Don Miguel Ruiz. And my teacher, Luis Molinar, who works in Spain now, took me to Teotihuacan after I became his apprentice in 1998 for the first time.
Marvelous. And you work with me a little bit, because this particular Teo, as Don Jose said at the top of the pyramid, is meant to give you sort of an architectural overview of the spiritual work. I was glad to hear that perspective. But you've been to workshops here where it's very deep, emotional kind of work, and you did some work on me, and I have to thank you, because I was just so blown away, because I've done a lot of work, been to therapists and so forth, and no one's just sort of like x-rayed right into the heart of, what always makes me feel like an outcast in my own family, like you did. Just have to really thank you from my heart.
It takes one to know one.
Yeah.
And the only way you can do that is to do that first for yourself. And if you can get to the other side, then you can do that for somebody else.
That's amazing. Yeah, I just had no idea that it could be that. A surgical strike would be the closest kind of term I could think of, because it was, it was wonderful. And then when we did our imaginary funeral for ourselves, you sensed that I was struggling, and you were there like an angel.
Well,
that's great.
And then there's you,
Thanks, yeah.
and if you're lucky enough to clear some of the smoke away that comes through the domestication of all of us humans, then you can perhaps find your place in this world.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'd never heard that term before until you used it yesterday, that our parents are taught to literally make us members of this society by how they were taught.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you understand that it's actually possible to forgive them for whatever they did.
Yeah.
But if you don't understand that, it's impossible. And I don't want to get too fundamentalist about this, but, the Christ said that forgive them, they know not what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And the ability to forgive is a great act of magic. Because it's not a concept, and it's not something you do because it's an obligation. You do it because you recognize that you have a heart that wants to be open, and the inability to forgive is a trap you make for yourself to close your heart. And when we close our heart to ourselves, we close it to everyone and to everything.
The energy of Teo amplifies this work you were saying too, that working with the energetics of this and all of the amazing work that's been done here for thousands of years actually does help accelerate. I mean, I've been noticing my vision gift highly accelerated here, where instead of seeing, a couple of things, it's just like an ongoing movie since I've been here. And it's going to take me months to catch up with it in my blogging, but...
Well, the way my teacher tried to interpret this sacred space here, where everything is oriented on planetary alignments, so it's a reflection of the universe, was that each of these chambers, he called cholas, they're classrooms, and he worked us through 5 of these classrooms before you got to the plaza in front of the moon. And what this represents is, in many ways, it's like the monuments on the Nile, where at the last monument you're at the Great Pyramid, but you're coming down the Nile through Thebes and Luxor. This is the same exact celestial alignment.
How can that be?
And it can be because it's modeled on the human chakras.
But the pyramids...
And the planets.
Yeah.
Okay,
Why the pyramid shape here and in Egypt when these cultures were so distant from each other? Or I've heard that perhaps the Egyptians did cross the ocean with reed boats.
If there's information in light, then, and you can tap the information in light, then this kind of geometry comes through the light. And my teacher said that each of these classrooms was a process where you released your heavy energy using the elements that were available, the elements of earth, the elements of water, which are associated with the emotion, the element of air, which is associated with ether, and then finally into what they call the 5th classroom, where it's the element of your heart. And it's as if you're moving up the chakras to move up the avenue of the dead. And this represents the 7th chakra, the pyramid of the sun, where you go out the portal, which was your fontanelle at birth, and remember who you are.
And I'm not going to get it right, but you'll be able to help me. The Teo's means, or Teotihuacan means where human becomes...
It's Teotihuacan, it means the place where man becomes God.
Now that seems kind of arrogant on the surface to me, but I understand it better now having been through it.
Yeah.
God is everyone.
And the arrogance that you associate with the word God is all about the dream of formal religions in our culture that meant well, but ended up with the strictness of their forms literally separating us from our divinity.
Yes.
So there's 2 powerful symbols here. There's Quetzalcoatl, who is an individual, who is a Christ-like figure in their mythology, who represented the ability to resurrect, to transform.